TV, or if you have a smartphone.
Hello,
Monday through
Nick
Friday,
here.
Eastern Standard Time at 3:30 in the afternoon. You can watch us. You just type this in, and then it'll come up and you go down Watch Live, and you'll see it. Global, Global, Media, Media, Ministries, Ministries. Also, I've been asked by what do they have to do? You just send it to Revival for End Times, Post Office Box 141, Mercersburg, MERCERSBURG 236.
This program has been sponsored by Revival for End Times.
Listen, my life changed.
Hello, Nick here. Got a new radio, new to me anyway. I'm gonna use the ICOM 7610 back there just so I can use the scope, find some weak signals maybe. Hopefully I can find some signals close together, 5 kilohertz apart, so we can test the selectivity. But it's not the best time right now. It's like 11 in the morning, 11:30 in the morning, Central Time in Dallas, Texas. So we'll see. Both radios are running on their own internal speaker. The ICOM faces up and it's got a radio on top of it, but there is like a good inch and a quarter air gap. So you just have to put up with it. Okay. We already know the ICOM is a great radio. So, they're both radios are running off a Wellbrook mounted outdoors, running through the same Stridesburg multi-coupler. So, so they're both on the same antenna. And let's just go over quickly some of the controls of this Lowe, Lowe HF-235. So I think this radio was made in the 1990s, I think. And then obviously this is a 19-inch rack model. And you can see I got a handle on one side and I've got the handle for the other side, but the screws came out. And you got to take the top off to get to the screws because they come from the back side. The guy didn't pack it very well when he shipped it to me. I bought it off eBay, and he actually did a really, really bad job of packing the radio. In fact, it was horrendous, in my opinion. But the radio apparently survived, as we're about to try and find out. Radio looks nice. It's got wear on it. If I was to zoom in, you could see that there's a clear plastic or cellophane cover over these like membrane switches, and the edges are slightly starting to dog ear on some of them. All right. On those, on these, maybe I think a little bit there, but it's not hideous. It's not terrible. But then again, the radio is over 30 years old. So visually, yeah, it looks nice. I wiped it down. I usually just take like a paper towel and shoot a little Windex on the paper towel and then just wipe down the front and wipe down the knobs, and I'll take a toothbrush and I'll get into the crevices and try and get the crap out of the crevices and stuff like that. The speaker great. The radio looks nice. It does. Like I said, excluding the little slight dog ear. It's not terrible, okay? But this is, so getting back to this model, this is almost identical to the HF-235, which is their desktop version, which is probably only like this big. I don't have one. But this has a couple extra features. So obviously it has a built-in keypad, whereas the HF-225 had a jack on the back to plug in for an external keypad that you had to buy extra. So this one has an internal keypad. And then this one also has this really cool manual gain override. So IF gain, RF gain, same thing. You can use it. It works. See how the needle goes up when you turn it down, just like on an ICOM or a Yaesu. Still don't understand why they do that. Why when you don't turn the gain down, the needle goes down. That's what my brain is telling me. But I'm not really that smart about radios, so I only know how to play with the buttons. So anyway, but it's got a manual override. if you see down here, it says pull, or it says push off, pull on. If you pull it out, now it's in full manual gain mode, okay? And you can manually adjust your gain, which is cool, like on weak CW or super weak signals, or maybe if you're trying to ECSS or something like that. So that feature is really cool. It has, obviously, keypad works like any other keypad. The tuner, supposedly it has variable rate tuning, where if you turn it faster, it tunes faster. It also has a megahertz button up or down, so if you don't want to dial and you want to get somewhere quick, you just hit down or up, and I like that feature. It's got an attenuator, and the attenuator is either on or off. And if you just tap the button once, it tells you the status. And I guess if you tap it twice, there you go, attenuator on, see, attenuator, and then if you hold it, off. And so if you just tap the button, it shows you what the setting is. You got to hold it to make it change. So the filters, it's got 4 or 5 filters. Let's go through them real quick. So you got 10 filter. So 10 is the largest. Then it goes back to 0. So you got 2.2, 4, 7, 10. But if you put it into CW mode, you get an extra optional filter, and it's in there, and I'll show you how to do it when we do it. It's 0.2, so it's 200 hertz. Only for CW though. So we're currently on 10 kilohertz. Attenuator off. It's got some memories and stuff. I printed the manual offline. I didn't get that far yet to figure out how to work all this shit. Apparently it's got a second VFO. See how it says A and B? I didn't get that far to, I was so excited about playing with this radio. I just glossed over the manual. But it's got 2 VFOs, so you can change between them. Obviously lock and unlock. So up here, CW, lower, upper sideband, AM, FM, and then that magic selection mode in between, AMS, AM sync, AM synchronous. And Lowe's have a sync that is standing tall, all right? That's Dallas speak for it works great. And so we'll see that. And the way it kind of, you fiddle with it, it's slightly different than on the Drakes. So you've seen videos of mine before on Drakes and on my ICOM 9500 and stuff like that. This one works, we'll play with it. It works a little bit different, but it works pretty good. And I like it. And I'm glad it's got that module inside. So that's it. Controls are pretty straightforward and simple. Now, this being designed to be a rack-mounted radio, 19 inches wide with handles, and then it's got, see the screw holes here to mount it in a rack? That means it wasn't designed to be used on a desktop. So these switches, you press it. Now, I've got it supported from behind with rubber pads on the bottom of these feet down here to try to keep the skidding to a minimum. But if you just took this radio and set it on a wooden desktop and tried to push this button, yeah, you'd be pushing the radio. It'd be scooting all over the place. But the radio was never designed to do that. It was designed to be mounted in a rack, and therefore that wouldn't even be a problem. And then for me, the way I got it set up now, you support it in the back, you put some rubber feet on the bottom of this thing. It's fine, it doesn't scoot around. Yeah, so other than the crappy pack job the guy that sold to me did, and the handle rattled off, and I could put it back on. But anyway, let's fire it up. You already listened to it on a very powerful signal, 12160, and it sounds great. Let's go through the filters. let's find something a little weaker. Ooh, I'm having trouble reaching my right arm over there. I think I got a torn rotator cuff. Oh, this hurts like hell just reaching this far. So obviously that's weaker. It's not weak. 11,760. Mute. Sounds nice. 10. Put on 7. That's another thing. This is an LED. It's not super bright, obviously. You can see it. The meter, there is a light in there, but it really, and I can read the meter fine. And at night, the light helps, right? In low light at night, something like that, it lights the meter up. But it's noon here, right? It's daytime. Sun's coming in almost every window, and so it's all good. All right, let's reach over here again. Shit. Hopefully we can find something weak. Let's go up to 15. All right, there's something there. Wow. All right, let's play with the sync. So, you hear that tone? All right, so what the manual says to do is you move this. All right, let me go back and explain how this. So, obviously, your dial resolution is only 1 kilohertz, which on the surface, you'd think that sucks, totally sucks, right? Doesn't even give you 100 kilohertz. But the tuning, watch when I move this. See how much you can move it before it hits 11 or 9? So it's actually tuning. I think the tuning resolution is like 100 hertz, and it changes. In AM, it's 100. In sideband, I think it's 10. And in CW, it might even be finer. And when we get to CW, you'll see I can get a whole half revolution of the dial before it changes 1 kilohertz. But even in AM, I can get, so I'm actually fine tuning it. You just can't see it on there. All right. So what they tell you to do when you put it in sync and you get that weird tone, there's an L that will light up when you're locked, but you got to find the happy spot and lock it. So let's try that. Notice how weak this signal is? Look at that. This is really a weak signal. We're up on the gain. I think that it just might not be strong enough to be able to lock. Oh, we hit there. It's flashing. See the L flashing slightly. Yeah, so I don't think we're getting a lock, or I know we're not getting a lock. But it actually sounds better than the 7610 in normal AM. So let me switch over to 7610, check the filter. So we're on 7, that's on 6. So let's... Nah, maybe about the same. Given the fact that that's a foot farther away from the microphone and it's blocked a little bit by the radio above it. Yeah. But this, no, this is doing at least as good as the 7610. All right, let's find another signal. Oh, shit. All right, there's another weak one. 15670. So this one almost locked. Again, though, really weak. All right. All right, let's go to, what time is it? 11:17, so let's wait. We can catch a Trenton Military in about 3 or 4 minutes. Let's try a little 28209 beacon action. That super weak beacon, 28209. Put on CW. Automatically goes to 2.2. And you can hear there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's put it down. There's another signal behind this one. Let's clip the short filter on. Watch. 200 hertz. So the weak beacon I'm trying to get is the weak one behind the strong one. Look at the meter. That wasn't the beacon I was trying to get. That one's the one that's drowning out the one I'm trying to get. All right, let's do this magic gain thing here. Then there's a third guy tapping in behind it. Hear him going da 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 da. Man, dude, they're just all over this 28,200 range this morning. There it is. That's it. Except I got this guy stepping all over it, man, this strong one. No, but I'm getting it. I don't know if you guys can discern it. I memorized the sequence of tones. I can't read code, but I memorized the sequence of tones, and it's there. I'm hearing it. And you can see how far you can turn this, and it's still on 209, so that shows you we're getting like 10 hertz resolution. Who knows? Maybe even less. And there's like 3 signals all within 209. Anyway, so let's go to 15034. Is that it? Yeah.
Aviation weather report. Calgary, time 1600 Zulu. Wind calm, visibility 40, few clouds, 2222, dew point 7, altimeter 29er66. Wind, cold lake, time 1600 Zulu, wind 020 at 6, visibility 12. Light rain showers, ceiling 7,000 overcast.
So there is, on Longwave in here in the United States now, or at least in Dallas, there is literally almost nothing you can hear anymore. So let's go to what I know from just farting around. The strongest beacon is 365. Sounds great. 341 is another beacon. See that we're getting some bleed through, some AM bleed through, some super powerful AM medium wave broadcast bleed through. Let's try that 60 hertz time signal. You gotta put it on CW. Still get a little bleed through. But that's life in the United States on Longwave. You hearing the Trenton military? Let's, for giggles, try that. I forget what they call it, the Ocean Net or something, 14300 upper sideband. See if those dudes are there. And when you're on sideband, you're fixed. Oh, you can use all of them apparently. 2.2 is probably the only practical one. Maybe 4 for ECSS. Well, if any of them would stay talking long enough for me to zoom in on, freaking hams. Anyway. All right, let's try, I don't know, let's go back up to the ICOM and see if there's anything up in the 17 range. Oh, apparently not. Maybe. There's 1790 with some bad, see that some interference right next to it, that big spike right next to it? Let's see what that sounds like on the low. No, it's not. It's 17,790. 17,790. Wow. Lock. All right, let's end it on a little medium wave action. See if we can tune down that low without blowing up.
It's one of the worst days possible to get lucky in the lottery because you don't have a high ceiling or a super high ceiling prospect like the Cade Cunningham year a few years ago. He's got a ceiling of what maybe being an all-star, and if that's the best player on your team, you have absolutely no chance.
If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have
So I think that's Oklahoma, somewhere in Oklahoma. And I think 1,500 is Nashville. Wow. I'm going to leave it there. I'll get a strike, so I'm going to have to turn it off, but... All right, so there's a short overview on the HF-235. Glad I got it. I like it a lot. I wish the guy would have packed it better. But it is what it is. Works good. I'd like to play with it more in the evenings. I mean, it came in yesterday afternoon while I was out at my friend's ranch doing a bunch of shooting. I might put a video up on that too. We had a great time. But that's what aggravated my shoulder. And so I really didn't play with this last night. But I fired it up this morning. And very happy with it. Yeah. So... apparently there's a Lowe made after this called HF-250, which is supposed to be their best one, I think. I know it's later model than this. I don't know if they made one after the 250. But anyway, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen one of those, or not recently that I paid attention to. But no, this is working good, looks good. I'm happy. All right, thanks for hanging out.